from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to an episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today, I'm very pleased joining me, Agne from Lithuania. She is the head of growth at WeFi. Agne, the way I love to do it is I keep it to my guests to introduce themselves, tell us more about, your background, your journey, and what you're currently up to, and then we can start discussion from there. Just as a teaser for the audience, we're going to discuss a lot of interesting topics around, everything, DAO, DeFi, and all this stuff, which is, it's the current technology of the finance. So without further ado, I would keep it for you, Agne, to introduce yourself, and then we'll start the discussion.
Thank you very much, Mehmet. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Agne Linge, and I come from Lithuania, the country that is famous for its fintech evolution and ecosystem, and also for the crypto ecosystem. Currently, I reside in Dubai, which has shown a significant appetite for innovation and for the crypto ecosystem. So that's why I'm based there in the Middle East. And right now, I'm a head of growth of WeFi. We are a digital neobank that are utilizing the technologies that are popular today. So we're utilizing blockchain technology and also artificial intelligence technology. I have been in finance industry since I started my university days, since I started my career back in London at Lehman Brothers. And I believe that blockchain and crypto and all this intersection with AI is how we're shaping the future of finance. So I consider myself a financier, and I would love to talk about the current status quo of crypto, of what is happening in America and politics and overall. Actually, I just came back from Davos, where the World Economic Forum took place. So it's very interesting how we started this year with lots of bold claims and future predictions. So looking forward to talk to you, Mehmet.
Absolutely, Agne, and thank you again for being with me here today. So this is a hot topic. This is something that I believe it's not like talking about, the technology aspect of it or the finance aspect of it, because it touches, everyone's daily life. And you mentioned something which actually was my first question. So if you can tell us, because you mentioned about the status quo in the crypto, which is like but crypto is by itself kind of a new technology. So if you can share a little bit, the vision of WeFi and how, you differentiate yourself from traditional neobanks and centralized lending protocols.
Of course. So first of all, at WeFi, the objective of business is to provide financial freedom for more people than already it is now. And we believe that with using the current technology and integrating it with fintech and blockchain AI, we can actually do that. And I mentioned to you earlier, I just came from Davos, and over there I listened to this discussion. Brian Armstrong was talking to Niall Ferguson and to George Osborne. And these three gentlemen, they actually agreed to one thing, that crypto is already enabling financial freedom or economic freedom to those people and in those regions where they never had access to banking system. They were dismissed. So coming back to the question, at WeFi, we are constructing all of these technologies together to actually enable banking access or access to financial services for those people who need it the most, or for those who never had it, or also for the people who had access to financial services, but they prefer more modern type of interaction. They're using mobile phones, they use crypto, they use digital assets, and they also want to be part of this financial evolution.
That's great. Now, here's the question that comes, naturally, I would say after that. So, like neobanks are gaining traction, right? So in addition to what you mentioned, so if I want to differentiate them from traditional banks and the traditional financial institutions, what do you say, like, still, it's a major difference than, for example, me dealing with a bank, in one of the areas in Dubai, going there and trying to open an account. So if you like explain to us, you know, that, and why do you think like this is the future?
Mhm. I would quickly answer it as follows. The main difference is perhaps agility from both point of views, from customer point of view and from business point of view. The incumbent financial institutions, there is nothing wrong with them. They've been serving us for very well for quite some time in the Middle East, in America, and in Europe. However, we have passed these times. We are living in modern times. The technology is evolving so fast, and also the habits of people have already completely evolved. Like right now, those who are already going to school at university, they only use Instagram, they only use YouTube Shorts, they only use mobile phones, and many services that we used to go and access them in a physical way, they're already doing it in a digital way. So going back to the question, neobanks and fintechs and these modern financial institutions are faster to react and more brave to adopt the new technologies and to offer new financial services or any other services that could be better for the user. The incumbent financial institutions, they have their traditional systems, they have their softwares, and they also have people that are working there and perhaps not always eager to change. Let's put it this way. So I would say that using neobanks such as Revolut, such as N26, which are quite famous in Europe, they provide different access for the users. They provide access through the mobile phones. They provide different type of plethora of services. And from the business point of view, they're faster to change and to implement some novelties.
Absolutely. Now, as you know, Agni, like there would be the people who are kind still, I would call them the late adopters, right? So the people who are like always having these doubts, they have, their concerns, especially with maybe sometimes all what we hear and see maybe on television regarding what happens in the crypto world, maybe also like from security perspective. So how you can debunk these myths, I would say, first, and if you can tell me also, like, at WeFi, how you're addressing these challenges.
Everything is scary when you don't have information about this in any part of life or world. If something is unknown, you are afraid of that. So obviously, you have to test what you have to educate yourself. So the answer to your question is education. At WeFi, we have very interesting plans. I won't reveal them right now too much, but we are focusing very much on educating our users and the future users and educating the ecosystem. We believe that this is crucial right now to educate people about the new technologies and to I don't know, to tame away their fears about using them and to make them comfortable about this. However, I would say that people are afraid of technologies. In the current situation where we had a lot of instabilities, geopolitical instabilities in Europe, in the Middle East, and potentially other countries, people are also concerned about traditional banking institutions. They don't know if the war comes or something happens, whether their savings will be safe. So actually, the safest thing for people right now is cash, just to put cash under your pillow, or what happens in case of fire or any other thing. So everything can be a scare. You can be afraid of everything. Um, to understand why blockchain technology and crypto and artificial intelligence, I'm putting these famous terms all three together because we all have to learn about them. We cannot be scared. We have to embrace them. So this is an evolution of technology. This is an evolution of financial technology. And you have to start with educating yourself, understanding the history of money. Money were not always banknotes. Money used to be like a barter. You could exchange goods. You could, if you have, let's say, an apple, you could change it to pears in all the days. So you have to understand how the money evolved. And also have to understand the money today although we do use cash, it's less and less cash. Money right now, when you spend with your cards, is a change in the ledger in the banks. Somebody spent, so there is a credited, and somebody's like in debited. So we are already dealing with digital money. There is no cash being exchanged like it used to be in the older days. Actually, interestingly, yesterday Trump said that he wants to discontinue the pennies because people are not using the pennies anymore. So, using blockchain technology to process financial transactions, to process remittances, to send money, to receive money, etc. All of this is just an evolution of our life. So we have to start educating ourselves and learn about these new technologies to see how they can contribute to better our lives.
I'm very happy you mentioned about some of these terms, because I don't think they are just buzzwords. So they are more than buzzwords, in my opinion, Agne. And and it's good you mentioned about yesterday. So just for the transparency, and this I do it always with my audience. So we're recording on 11th of Feb. Probably you are seeing this at the end or listening at the end of February. So you just came, Agne, from Davos, and you mentioned about what were people talking there. On the AI point, before I move to more the economy and the trade wars and all this, so before shifting gears, staying within the technology, everyone seems excited about AI, especially with the DeFi and with the crypto and all this. But because you are on the ground, you're with the company, heading the growth. So probably you are seeing different use cases that AI can play in changing not just the way we interact with technology, but also the use cases as well. So what are like some of the maybe kind of not a crystal ball, but some of the really early signals that you are spotting with WeFi that AI will play a major role shifting how also we deal with DeFi and crypto?
For sure, especially for WeFi, we are already utilizing artificial intelligence, and we utilizing it for KYC. So as you know, like each financial institution, they are obliged to do the KYC. And maybe in the past, a person would look through your documents to see if you're suitable. Later on, we had some software detection together with the humans. Right now, everything is shifting more towards AI. So at WeFi, we are utilizing AI KYC. Also at WeFi, and I can see this already being used in other financial institutions, AI can help with the fraud detection, with some irregularities regarding financial transactions. And as you know, each jurisdiction, they require, actually, you are obliged to report if you notice some sort of irregularities or some sort of fraud taking place, or even potential fraud. So AI can definitely help with that. Human eye, of course, is the best, but here, when we're dealing with a huge flow of operations, AI is very useful. Also, it's been quite sad for the asset managers or fund managers. It's been already proven that AI can manage your portfolio according to your risk, according to your even behavior online. AI will be able to recommend you how to best manage your portfolio, where to invest. There are AI agents that act as fund managers. So all these three cases, KYC, financial transaction monitoring, and also portfolio managers and helping with wealth management, with wealth decisions, are perfect use cases that are already happening now. So who knows what the future will bring?
Absolutely. And what up, because also you mentioned something, and every single guest I spoke with within the domain, myself and of course everyone else, we're excited to hear about being able to bring the financial instruments to everyone, like even for the people who never had like bank accounts. Now with the AI and the power of AI, I think, just as in my opinion, it's like my 2 cents on this, Agne, and maybe you would agree with me. So this is gonna take us to the next level, because if also, back to your point about education and educating people, so if educate them about money, educate them about the power of AI, so we're gonna have kind of this movement that might shift how we think about the economy. And this brings me to ask you about DAO, so decentralized autonomous organization. So, and this is the key part, which is shaping, the governance of money. It's shaping the way how we look at, the autonomy actually that governs, the transactions. So, how are you seeing, this going on a global economy level? Where are you seeing, some still work to be done? Where, like there are like some good stuff that happened already. So just if we can cover this on a high level with you, Agni, and then maybe we can dig more into specific aspects.
Sure. So maybe for your audience, we can define more what is DAO, what is decentralized
Sure.
autonomous organization. So I think we could think of different definitions, how to describe it easier. So with the use of technology, with the use of blockchain technology, we're distributing the power of decisions to more people than one, right? So let's say we have an ecosystem of 20 people. All of those 20 people they have a token, right? And then when there is a decision to be made, each of them they vote, and then accordingly we reach this decision. And why it gained popularity? Because in centralized organizations, one person or like two people or whatever, they would make decisions, and a lot of people who are actually involved in their organizations, they could not have a say. So with the blockchain technology, especially in the crypto ecosystem, a term became popular, a DAO. So when you have a lot of users, you have let's say blockchain layer twos, let's say arbitrum optimism, all of this. I'm not sure if your audience are familiar with that ecosystem, who have a lot of token holders, and when there is a decision to be made, those token holders come together and they vote accordingly. What do you think, Mehmet, about this description?
I think it's easy to grasp.
Okay. All right. So this concept has become very popular, especially in crypto ecosystem, that now we can give power back to people with this decentralized autonomous organization, and this is how it will be. In practicality, and I've been in crypto industry now for over 7 years, and I saw in the last 2 or 3 years the DAO concept has become popular. In practicality, it happened that those people who have the most tokens, they would still be able to skew the votes, right? So this was already a major fault for that. And those organizations who are very distributed, they could not reach a consensus because there were too many people trying to make decisions. So some solutions were found as dividing the DAO into guilds, like sort of like departments, and then you would give delegation for some person to make a decision. So the tokens would become a delegate. But still, you can see that in this way, we're leaning back towards a little bit more centralized organization, right? So I would say there are pluses and minuses. The idea is great that you give power to people. Perhaps in some ecosystems, it will work very well. So more people can decide what will happen. But in reality, people need a leader. People want a decision maker. So I think the delegation is still taking place. One other thing what I would like to point out, maybe it's interesting for your listeners, the DAOs actually were born as a consequence of no regulation, let's say. So some crypto projects were wary of which jurisdiction they should register, or maybe it was unclear at some point. A few years ago, it was still unclear what is happening. And even today, DeFi is not defined in a regulation, I don't think, in any of the jurisdictions. So the solution was to do a decentralized autonomous organization where the power is distributed to the people. So I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think legally you can avoid the problems. We still need to run business, even if it's a blockchain-based business. You're still touching legal paperwork. You're still touching companies that are operating on the mainland. So you need a person. Not everything can exist in anything. Now, I would like to go further. So when we have AI agents making decisions or running businesses, this is where they will probably be able to act in some decentralized autonomous organizations. So this technology that is not run by people, it's run by itself with smart contracts. This is where it will be a must, right? Because how will these AI agents interact with each other? who knows what decisions they will be making. So I think DAOs are not dead. I just expressed my concerns with that in our real everyday life, but it is a very interesting concept that demands attention for sure.
Absolutely. And just to agree with you, to me, the concept of uh, money in general, whatever this form of money is about to be disrupted big time. And I'm based my assumptions and, predictions based on what I'm seeing coming out from the leaders of AI. So if I am reading, I think, well, like Sam Altman, if I'm reading well, other leaders in this domain and what they are trying to tell us. So probably because just again yesterday, and this is was 10th of Feb, so he shared his thoughts, right? And he mentioned something really interesting about how everything will become more affordable to people, but some of the stuff will become luxurious stuff will become like more expensive. And this is give me, also like how we value things and how we define actually luxury. But again, to your point, so it all comes back to how we control the flow of the money, how we control all this, and this is where blockchain gonna become like the mainstream. And here where I want to jump with you to the politics of the US, because again, like we have a lot of flames and I know that they don't like each other's. So Elon Musk, is not fan of Sam, I know this, but at the same time Elon is now pushing for putting the whole US treasury and all the spendings on blockchain.
Yeah.
So let's start from there. So how do you analyze this? Like since Trump came, we start to see this again. I would say excitement among people for crypto and blockchain. So let's say take first your opinion on this before going to the other stuff that Trump brought with him for his second term.
Yeah. Overall, I think seeing the spending on the blockchain, that would be a very good idea for all the governments. In fact, it would be so great, and nobody would, worry like about where the government is spending your taxes, where the spending going. So, an efficient government, so you pay your taxes, you know where it's going, and actually, we could utilize some of these DAO decisions. So maybe the people could be able to vote whether we want to spend on roads, whether we want to give more for pensions, or whether we need some more hospitals or perhaps schools. So that would be really great. Actually, I would love that, because right now we don't have any visibility what is happening with the funds that are being paid as a tax. So I think that Alan's idea is good. Yeah.
Cool. Now let's jump to why the news that are coming about the tariffs, right? So, and again, I'm not sure. This is really funny. It's Donald Trump, so we can predict sometimes. So he decided to put, 25%, and then he retracted that on Mexico and Canada. He kept it on China. So in between the news, Bitcoin crossed $100,000 and then it came back. So if we think about all what's happening with these decision policies and the relation with the price of crypto, right? So and the volatility, like is this like another sort of economic war? Like what's really happening there? If you can shed some light for us.
Mhm. It's been interesting couple of days actually. I was also watching and the Bloomberg news and some discussions. Um, my point of view is, of course, Trump is a businessman. He's a negotiator. There is definitely a reason why he's doing that. Um, at the beginning, I also thought maybe he's showing his strength, showing his power, and then he retracted with the tariffs. But now we see new tariffs are coming for steel and for aluminiums. By the time the listeners will listen to this podcast, we will know already the decision. I think that is a mixture of power play between other countries, showing his power and seeing, and also protecting America's economy. Clearly, everybody, all the economists are saying that in case of the tariffs, the inflation in the US will only increase. The cost increase will be passed to the consumers. everybody's waiting for the rate cuts, but if the tariffs happen, then the rate cuts will be delayed, maybe not even in the horizon for the 2025. So it's very interesting how all of this will pan out, but he's being very strict about this. What are your thoughts, Mehmet? I'm also curious. What are your observations?
It's like, as I said, like it's you just nailed it. He's a businessman, right? So he sees the most benefit. Where is it coming from? And then he would go to that direction. Because if you remember, you know, I'm not sure how many years back, but he wasn't that big fan of cryptos and blockchain. And he must have seen, like, okay, this is the future. So now I need to change my stance. So on that point, and now he's, of course, like you've seen this also. He mentioned that he want to make the US as the capital of blockchain. So uh, again, like he's playing whatever it takes to the benefit. And one thing which I respect about the guy, I know like people, they don't like him, some people likes him. For me, I'm not a US citizen, so I say my neutral point of view. So the good thing which I see about Trump, that he does what he says, and he doesn't have, I would say, second agendas. So whatever he says, he tries to implement it. But one thing which very interesting. So within all these trade wars, tariffs, inflation, and all the doom and gloom, let's call it, is it good or bad for the DeFi? How do you think it's gonna affect it positively, negatively? Is it gonna accelerate the adoption? It's gonna slow it down? How do you see that?
I think it's good. I think definitely we need more clarity, and clarity comes from United States. Like you, I'm not a citizen of United States. People have different opinions, but it is a powerful country. People do follow the decisions of United States, no matter of what is their stance. So, and also America is a big financial center. There is Wall Street over there, and there is lots of financials which are the leaders of the world, right? So of course, China is playing a big role by owning treasuries, and there is London, there is Frankfurt, etc. So we cannot isolate that. America also, they have to be wary of the very powerful world players. However, everybody is waiting for what America will say with regards to crypto. The clarity needs to come. So I'm very happy as a professional in this industry to know that there are working groups being set up. There are some push for stablecoin regulation. And although not everything is covered in the media, I know from talking to industry people that especially stablecoins, they have a huge interest from the likes like Goldman and BlackRock, etc. This is not only financial real, but it's also a very profitable activity. You can see how much USDT. I'm not sure if they already reported or they were to report the billions of profits in the balance sheet. So overall, for the crypto industry, is positive. We need more clarity. The infrastructure has been built by the degens who never feared anything. They were going forward no matter what. They were inventing the layer 2s and ZK rollups and optimistic rollups, all of those. So it's been a great innovation. But now for the consumer adoption, we need for regulators to say that it's okay to do that. Let's say banks, they probably have interest in processing Bitcoin transactions or digital assets. It's also a profitable business, although risky for them. But they have to wait for the regulators to say it's okay to do that. So they're in limbo right now of waiting what to do. So overall, I would say it's positive. But a little bit, it was fun to have this industry in the way it was. I would say when it's becoming more serious, more institutional players are coming. I'm concerned that the industry would not be too regulated, and we could still have this innovation that is happening in the crypto ecosystem. We have extremely talented and very smart people working on these protocols. I'm sure you met some of them, and it's incredible. People like this, we used to go to work as a lawyers, investment bankers, or doctors. And right now, when you meet the people who are building the protocols, the geniuses, extremely smart people, and not they don't want to go to work to Google. They want to find their own Ziki project or something like that. So I just really want this innovation to be preserved and for the youngsters to feel comfortable of developing their ideas.
Absolutely. And just, one more point. I think politics is the art of being pragmatic, right? And I think what happened, with Trump specifically, he's a pragmatic guy. Um, and there are like a lot of factors, just my opinion. And to your point, actually. So I was one of the people, like when blockchain came out, get fascinated coming from a technical background, right? So back in the university, I studied databases and, how a database works and, how data can get corrupted. And anyway, I will not go into the technical details. So the idea of a ledger and, having multiple, peers to give the trust that this operation happened. Yes. And, like it's distributed, I was convinced, I was sold out. The thing that little bit iterated me at the beginning are these projects, in unregulated projects that used to come up, some of the scams that happen. But now what's happening, and I think this, you would agree with me. So blockchain get the adoption, especially of the younger generation, to your point. And people start to, hey, look, I really don't need, this intermediary in the middle. I don't need someone to be controlling my money, my the things that I get tired to get, right? So people start to take it as a I would say as a movement. Now what I'm seeing, and this is because of the AI, back to the AI point, what AI have done, maybe not a lot of people are talking about. So people talk about generative AI, they talk about all these stuff. What I'm seeing AI is allowing us to do is it's basically you are turning every single human on the planet as a superpower, because think about it, if you know how to ask, which is the prompt to the AI, and with the agents, with what we are seeing in coding and all this, so anyone can become a business, right? And this is a freedom, so everyone is becoming free from all these, I would say, fictional, barriers that we had in our mind that we cannot do it. And blockchain is one of these, I would say, means also as well. We don't need a bank, to have our own money or to control our own money. Let me put it this way. So I think, kind of a little bit philosophical to me is it's a movement. And this is why I think, Trump read it very, very right. And maybe Elon Musk also being close to him, he explained. I'm sure like when they sit together, he started to explain a few of the stuff that Elon would know about it. And don't forget this for the audience that Elon came actually from that domain. He started X, which was PayPal before, so he knows it better than anyone else. So to your point, Agna, I agree 100% with you. Now let's come again closer to Dubai, where we both are based, and talk about regulations and what is really happening in this scene, I would say, especially in our region and in UAE specifically. We know like major players are headquartered in the UAE, right? We know that the government is pushing much for this. What can you tell the audience who are not maybe from this region about the regulations and what's happening in the blockchain, Web3, DeFi space in the UAE and let's say MENA region in general?
I think you know what the UAE did with the positive stance and to innovation and regulation. They got free influencers around the world. They have KOLs that are promoting UAE, Dubai, and the region everywhere. This is me, you included, and everybody who came to Dubai in the last. I think the influx was last 2-3 years. Of course, there were people who live in Dubai already for 15 years and more, but the crypto ecosystem and all the techie people, and now even the finance, the hedge funds, they're already moving to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They're there. So they're the first move. They have the first move advantage. They already have regulations set in place. So There's UAE, there's separate regulations for Dubai to have a VAR license. You can get a license for virtual assets work in Abu Dhabi, right? So they show the increasingly positive appetite to innovation, to digitalization, to all of these new technologies. So instead of trying to regulate, and I would not be afraid to say how Europe is doing, they're stepping itself on the foot, and they will lose time more and more the more they regulate it. And of course, we need regulation. I'm not saying that, but please regulate it in a way that is positive towards innovation, that you can actually do something without stopping. You don't want to, go one step and then being put two steps back. And in UAE, this is exactly what you can experience. If you want to do something, whether it's with the data centers, with AI, with the gaming, as you know, gaming is also a very important part of the economy in the Middle East and in the world, you can do that. So they really are the winners, the visionaries of the Emirates. I congratulate them.
Absolutely. And like every day, I can say at least I receive emails from, brilliant founders who either moved or they just came here to, explore, and they get surprised themselves, about, how easy, people accept these ideas, because still in some countries, I know, like when you tell them blockchain, DeFi, Web3, they get like this weird look, right? So they don't face here, and it's very accepting one over here. Now, if we want to make some predictions in general, right? So when are we heading? I would say, like, how are you seeing the future of all, this technology leading us to?
Um, Actually, coming from Davos, everybody were talking about AI, and in a bit of a concerning way. Of course, we hear a lot of concerns how AI will take the jobs, how AI will do this and this and that. Um, I think people lived throughout various situations. People lived through wars, through famine, through whatever. We're humans, we can adapt ourselves. So let's not be scared. Let's educate ourselves and let's work together to find our way forward. So I think with this technology, education is the only way that we can make friends with it and be the first movers rather than wait for 10 years and then say, oh, I missed out on this, I missed out on that, which actually I know some people who've been told about crypto 10 years ago, and now they're only getting into crypto and they're like, I'm sorry, you told me before. Now I really understand that this is the future. It took me 10 years to understand. It's fine. Welcome now. I'm happy that you already know. So I think with the technology, we just have to make friends with this and educate and learn how to live with that. From a personal point of view, I would say maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But what I heard from Trump, he's a negotiator, and what I'm happy of the prediction that it seems to me that 2025 it will not be a year of war, and this is for me the best thing that could have ever happened. I really hope that what he says about negotiations will take place, because nothing is important, no technology, if we have Europe, if we have Middle East, and then we had the potential of Asia and China and Taiwan fighting. This vision for me it was very dire. So I really hope that the leaders of the world will put their heads together and live in a peaceful way, because we have many more challenges to address. So we have technology, we have economy, we have inflation, we have rising costs, and we have people who cannot catch up, with what's happening in the world. They want to understand what to teach the children, what should they study, because with all these technologies, with AI and stuff, maybe he cannot be a lawyer anymore. Will we have doctors? Maybe the machines will be operating. Do we need portfolio managers, investment bankers? So let's put ourselves together as a humans and figure out a positive way to move forward. I think that would be my most amazing prediction that I would love to happen.
Yeah, and I would join my voice to yours also, Agne, in this. And I'm usually optimistic by nature, and everything we're seeing and we're witnessing currently, it by the day, it it resonates with what I predicted years ago, that all these advancements in technology gonna let us have less troubles, gonna have us understand that we have enough for everyone actually, right? So, and this is why I was pointing to a few minutes ago about the AI and the abundance of knowledge that everyone have access to now. So we don't need to be greedy and worried, because this is what causes wars usually, right? And troubles and economical wars also as well. So this is why I'm optimistic, because AI is showing us that yeah, you can get it all, right? So you don't need really to move a lot and do a lot of troubles to get that. So which is, yeah, I have the same wishes as you. As we are closing to an end, Agni, finally, words of wisdom. This is what I like to ask my guests at the end. And also, of course, where people can get in touch with you and learn also more about WeFi.
Of course. So you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. My name is Agne Linge. I'm also on Twitter, which is Agne Crypto. And also I have an Instagram. I actually started doing it not such a long time ago because I was late. I thought that social media is not for me, but social media is for everybody. We have to. So I'm also Agne Crypto on Instagram. And final words of wisdom would be probably repeating myself what I already said. Education is very important. Be aware what is happening in the world. Walk with their open eyes and be kind to each other. We're humans who still interact with each other. So increase the interaction. And it's very hard for us to reduce the screen time, of course, but by talking to each other more, by expressing our feelings and our ideas, we can build a better future. So
Absolutely. And, at the end, I want to thank you very, very much, Agni, for this, fantastic discussion with you today. And, especially the points that you highlighted, the knowledge you shared with us, and also the latest and the greatest from Davos and what you heard from the leaders and, the experts who were talking over there. So thank you very, very much for being here with me on the show. It's been an honor. And this is for the audience. So usually this is how I end my episodes. If you just discovered this podcast by luck, and I'm wondering why you're so late, like me, I discovered blockchain late and Agni discovered Instagram late. Just joking. So if you just discovered us just by luck, thank you for passing by. I hope you enjoyed and you like, subscribe, and you share with your friends and colleagues. And if you are one of the people who keeps coming, listening, watching, sending me their suggestions, sending me their comments, thank you for doing so. And thank you very, very much for making the CTO show top 200 all the weeks now. So this is the first time since I started 2 years ago. Every week we are in a different country in the top 200 chart, and for making the CTO show as the top 40 podcast in business in Dubai, ranking at 14 currently. So thank you very much for the support. It couldn't happen without you. And as I say, as usual, we will meet again very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
congratulations, Mehmet. Thank you for
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.